The night was dark and eerie. The wind howled and the branches of the trees rustled in the cold, as if they were screaming in pain. The moon was hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds, casting an ominous glow over the desolate streets. The town was eerily silent, as if it was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen, and that's when it started. Amanda, a young and adventurous girl, had been walking home from her friend's house when she heard a strange noise coming from the abandoned mansion on the edge of town. She had always been curious about the old house, but had never dared to enter it. However, tonight something compelled her to investigate. As she approached the mansion, she saw that the front door was slightly ajar. Without a second thought, she pushed it open and entered the dimly lit foyer. The air was musty and thick, making it difficult to breathe. The walls were covered with peeling wallpaper and the furniture was covered in white sheets, giving the whole place a ghostly appearance. Amanda walked cautiously through the maze of rooms, her curiosity and fear growing with every step. Suddenly, she heard a faint whisper coming from the corridor. She stopped in her tracks, her heart pounding in her chest. She followed the sound, her footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. As she turned a corner, she saw a figure standing at the end of the hallway. It was a woman, dressed in a tattered white dress, her face pale and gaunt. Amanda froze, unable to move or even scream. The woman started walking towards her, her eyes fixed on Amanda's, never blinking. Amanda mustered the courage to run, but her legs felt like they were made of lead. She stumbled and fell to the ground, her heart racing with fear. The woman was getting closer and closer, her hand reaching out to grab Amanda's ankle. But then, as quickly as it had appeared, the woman vanished into thin air. Amanda sat there, trying to catch her breath and trying to make sense of what had just happened. Was she hallucinating? Or was this place really haunted? Shaken but still curious, Amanda continued exploring the mansion. As she made her way through the dark hallways, she heard strange noises coming from the walls. It was as if someone or something was trying to communicate with her. Amanda soon found herself in a room that seemed to be frozen in time. The walls were covered in old portraits, but they were not of people. They were of creatures, grotesque and twisted, with eyes that seemed to follow her every move. Amanda could feel their presence all around her, and she realized that she was not alone in the room. She turned around to leave, but the door had disappeared. Panic set in as she frantically searched for a way out. That's when she heard the voice again, only this time it was closer and clearer. It was an old man's voice, speaking in a language she didn't understand. Amanda felt a cold hand on her shoulder, and she turned around to see the old man standing behind her. His face was contorted in a twisted grin, his eyes filled with a manic gleam. With a shrill scream, she ran out of the room and didn't stop until she was safely outside the mansion. Shaken and terrified, Amanda ran back to her house and locked herself in her room. She couldn't believe what had just happened. Was it all just a dream? Or had she really experienced something supernatural? The next day, Amanda went back to the mansion with a group of friends, hoping to prove that what had happened to her was real. But to her horror, the house was no longer there. All that was left was an empty plot of land, as if the mansion had never existed. To this day, Amanda is haunted by the memory of that terrifying night. She still hears the woman's whispers and feels the old man's cold hand on her shoulder in her dreams. The abandoned mansion remains a mystery, but one thing is for sure, no one dares to enter it anymore.